Hello guys, welcome to Intellify, and in this video we will discuss another question paper of economics class 12. My name is Deep Shah. Let's start. So we will start with section A, microeconomics. Question 1. State the reasons why total variable cost and total cost curves are parallel to each other. Answer. Total variable cost and total cost are both inverted S-shaped curves which are parallel to each other, and the vertical distance between them remains the same at all levels of output because the gap between them represents total fixed cost TFC, which remains constant at all levels of output. So in the diagram we can see three curves TC, TVC and TFC. TC and TVC curves are inverted S-shaped curves which are parallel because of TFC, which is a straight line because it remains constant at all levels of output. State the reasons behind U-shaped nature of average variable cost curve. Answer. Average variable cost ABC is the per unit variable cost of production and can be calculated by dividing TVC from the number of units produced. It is a U-shaped curve because of the application of law of variable proportion. So in the diagram we can see the U shape of average variable cost curve. So this answer is enough for a one marker question, but for explanation we can say that due to the increasing returns to factor, when TP rises at an increasing rate, it pulls AVC down. During diminishing returns to factor, when TP reaches to its maximum point, AVC attains its minimum point. So AVC is here at this stage. And then finally, when TP starts falling, it leads to rise in AVC as shown in the given curve. Question 2. If the total revenue of a firm increases by 45,000 due to an increase in the sale of good X from 50 units to 65 units, then marginal revenue will be given change in TR is equal to 50 to 45,000 and change in quantity is 15. The formula of MR is change in TR upon change in quantity is equal to 45,000 upon 15. Therefore, MR is equal to rupees 3,000. Question 3. A production possibility curve would be dash curve if all the available resources in an economy are equally efficient to produce both the goods. Choose the correct alternative. A. A straight line. B. Convex to origin. C. Concave to origin. D. Upward sloping. So the answer will be A. Straight line. You can also see the illustration from the given diagram that how can this be a straight line curve. Question 4. Which of the following is a variable cost? A. Salary of permanent staff. B. Rent of premises. C. License fees. D. Wages. The answer will be D. Wages because all the other three are fixed costs. If total variable cost and total fixed cost of producing 10 units are 500 and 200 respectively, the value of average cost would be. So here we have four options: A 50, B 70, C 20, D 80. The answer is B 70. This can be calculated by the following formulas. TC is equal to TVC plus TFC. So our TVC is 500 and TFC is 200. So it comes out to be 700, and AC is equal to DC upon quantity. So 700 upon 10, which is the quantity. So we have AC is equal to rupees 70. Question 5. Distinguish between normative economics and positive economics with suitable examples. So we can answer this question by seeing at marks. Like this is a 3 marker question. So we will give 3 points and an example. So positive economics, it deals with what is or how the actual economic problems are solved. On the other hand, normative economics, it deals with what ought to be or how the economic problems should be solved. Positive economics, it is based upon facts and does not give suggestions. On the other hand, normative economics gives opinions and suggestions. Positive economics can be verified with the actual data, whereas it cannot be verified with the actual data, normative economics. Examples, uh, effect of GST or any other tax, or unemployment is growing, is just the examples of positive economics. And taxes should not here hurt the poor, unemployment should be controlled, are the examples of normative economics. So it is clear that the word should, ought to be, are there in normative economics statement. Why do central problems arise? Discuss briefly. Central problems of an economy arise due to the following reasons. A. Limited or scarce resources. Resources are scarce in relation to our wants. An economy cannot produce all what people want. It is the principal reason for existence of economic problems in all economies. B. Alternative uses. Resources can be put to alternative uses. For example, land is used not only for the production of crops but also for construction of buildings and factories. As a result, the economy has to make a choice between the alternative uses of the given resources. C. Unlimited wants. Human wants are unlimited in number. They are never ending and they can never be fully satisfied. Question 6. Mr. Atal Singh is consuming two goods, X and Y. If he is facing a situation of MUX upon PX is greater than MUY upon PY, discuss how would he reach the level of equilibrium. If MUX upon PX is greater than MUY upon PY, then marginal utility derived by spending 1 more rupee on consumption of commodity X is greater than the marginal utility derived by spending 1 rupee on consumption of commodity Y. The satisfaction derived by consuming commodity X is greater than the satisfaction derived by consuming commodity Y. So now Mr. Atal Singh will reallocate his income by spending more on commodity X. As he will consume more units of commodity X, marginal utility derived from consumption of commodity X diminish and alternate proposition occurs for commodity Y. This process will continue till MUX upon PX becomes equal to MUY upon PY. This is due to the operation of law of equimarginal utility. So the word here equimarginal utility is important and should always be mentioned. Question 7. Calculate and comment on nature of price elasticity of demand. If with a rise in price of good X from 10 to 12, the quantity demanded falls by 40%. Answer. Initial price or P0 is equal to rupees 10. Final price P1 is equal to rupees 12. Percentage change in quantity demanded is 40%. So elasticity of demand is price percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. So percentage change in quantity demanded is 40 and percentage change in price can be calculated by applying the formula P0 minus P1 upon P0 into 100. So you can calculate it separately and then put in this formula. So the answer will come out to be minus 2. So here the minus sign indicates the inverse relationship in price and demand. So the note should always be mentioned and the sign should always be put in brackets. As elasticity is greater than 1, therefore demand is highly elastic or more than unit elastic. This is the answer of nature of price elasticity of demand. So this word highly elastic or more than unit elastic should always be mentioned. As a price of a good falls, the resulting increased purchasing power may be a reason for increase in quantity demanded. Do you agree with the given statement? Give reason for your answer. When the price of a commodity falls, the consumer can buy the same quantity of the commodity with lesser money or can buy more of the same commodity. An increase in quantity demanded as a result of increase in real income caused by fall in the price of commodity is one of the reasons of law of demand, and this can be termed as income effect. So this phenomenon questioned here can be termed as income effect. Question 8. Complete the following projection schedule. So we are given units of variable input, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have to calculate the TPP, APP and MPP. So here TPP, that is total physical product, is the same as TP, that is total product, and same is the case with APP and MPP. So we can get the solution by applying the following formulas. So APP is equal to TPP upon input and TPPN plus MPP is equal to TPPN plus 1. So now to obtain this figure, we will multiply 11 by 2 according to this formula, and we'll obtain this by applying this formula. And then we will calculate MPP by following this formula. And in this way, we will get these values. We will cover the remaining questions in next video. Thank you.